Welcome to this Spirit Gathering teleconference. Today is January 17th, 2017, and my name is Robert Matthews. I'm really excited about doing this, especially this particular topic. Our topic is Money is Energy, Healing Your Relationship with Money, Part 5, Creating What You Want to in Your Life. We are so glad you've joined us. Let's take a moment now to get settled, to center ourselves, to let go of the events of this day and begin to enter the deeper, sacred space within ourselves. Now let us imagine that we're joining together, sacred heart to sacred heart, with every other person on this call right now. Now, let us imagine that we are joining together in a circle with a light or a flame or a fire in the center. Imagine a spoke of light coming from the center of the circle to your heart. And for each person on the call tonight or listening after, now we are connected, sacred heart to sacred heart. Now let us set our intentions. We listen to one another with compassion and curiosity. We ask for what we need and offer what we can. We deepen our connection with one another and the divine. May this sharing serve us, our communities, and the planet. And so it is. Okay, so tonight we're going to talk about healing your relationship with money, and primarily being able to create what you want in your life. A little bit of an introduction about myself. I have a CPA license. I had a practice, an accounting practice that I started many years ago, actually in 1981, in Los Angeles, California. It was in Hollywood, and my practice was in managing people's money in the entertainment field. Most of my clients were writers, producers, and directors, and I'd handle all facets of their financial life, from depositing the money from being from their agent into their corporate account, paying their corporate bills, their corporate tax planning, and then giving them a salary and paying their personal bills and doing their personal tax planning, and along with that also helping them buy and sell houses. I didn't have a real estate license, but I would explain to them what's going on. Or with investments, again, I didn't have a stock broker's license, but I would explain what the different things were, bonds, stocks, and et cetera. And I would explain how they worked and how you could lose money or make money on each one of them. So I had a good understanding of what was going on in their life. And I started that from nothing and in Hollywood, and then I finally sold it a few years ago when I had moved the practice into Beverly Hills. I developed this money is energy, again, many years ago. And in fact, didn't realize that I'd been doing it my whole life. And then finally started putting it down on paper, and then started teaching classes, seminars, in which I taught in many different states in the U.S. And that's enough about me. So if you were able to, I asked if you could bring 5 sheets of blank paper and a pencil or pen and some crayons. So if you have those, great. And if you don't have those, well, that's okay too. But I'm going to proceed as if you have them, so that you can listen to this again if you want to, and you have them then. What I'd like you to do first is to take the 5 sheets of paper, and in the top right-hand corner, just number them 1 to 5. And then as you do that, then I want you to take pages number 1 and 2. And I want you to, oh no, that's fine. I'm sorry. Take your time. No, I'm going to go slower because when I have you do some other things, I'm going to write along with you so that I know the speed, so I don't go too fast.
All right, I'm personally caught up.
Okay, everybody else is everybody else personally caught up?
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, great. Okay, so now take pages number 1 and 2. Okay, and on page 1, I'd like you to write at the top of the page, play sheet, P-L-A-Y, sheet. And then below that, I'd like you to write the date, which is 1/17/17, and then I'd like you to write the time, which I think for all of us is on East Coast time, although I'm not sure about Cincinnati.
Yeah, it's East Coast.
East Coast. Okay, so we put down 8:45 p.m. Okay, then below that, and you're gonna need some space. So hopefully you wrote that way at the top, and you're gonna have a lot of space because you're gonna write down 4 more things. Right below the time, or the time, but still way hopefully on like the first quarter of the paper. What I want you to write is write your feelings and emotions about money, and then a colon, because there's going to be 3 things I'm going to ask you to write about. So it's write your feelings and emotions about money. And then let me know when you're done.
Ready.
Okay, great. All right. Now the first one is going to be, the first line that I want you to write about is the words are money is colon, and then I want you to write a sentence or 2 after that. For you personally, money is, and then colon, and then write a sentence or 2 about what that is to you. I mean, it makes no difference what you think about or what you write down. It's just what is apparent to you right now. And there's no rush. We have tons of time. So let me know when you're done.
Ready?
Done.
Okay. All right. The next we're going to do 2 more of these. So the next one is going to be, you're going to write the words, money represents to me, colon. So you write money represents to me, and a colon. And then once you've written that, then write a sentence or 2. What money represents to you. And then let me know when you've done.
Done.
Ready.
Okay, great. All right, the next and last one, we're going to write money makes me feel, a colon, and then write what you're going to, how money makes you feel. And then let me know when you're done.
Ready.
I'm ready.
Okay, great. Okay, now put that sheet aside. You can turn it over or whatever you want to do. Just put it over to the side. And now we're going to take sheet number 2. And again, way at the top, we're going to write play sheet. Again. And then right below writing play sheet, we're going to put the date, 1/17/17, and we're going to put the time, 8:51 p.m. Okay, everybody done?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Now, just below that, we're going to write, draw your feelings about money, colon. Okay, let me know when you finish there.
Ready.
Okay, great. Now take out your crayons or whatever colors you might have to play with, and we'll just spend the next minute or 2 just drawing your feelings about money. Whatever that means to you. However that, there's nothing right or wrong. You can't do it wrong. Just pick whatever colors you want, draw whatever you want, and just fill up the whole page, do a small part of the page, whatever you want to do. And it'll take a couple of minutes to do that. Okay, so how is everyone doing?
Good, I'm finished.
Me too.
Okay, great. Okay, so you can put that to the side also. And since I'm condensing a full day seminar into 40 minutes or so, I've kind of picked out the most important things to try to give you the most I can in the shortest time. What I found is there's 5 basic steps to healing your relationship with money. Step 1 is take full responsibility for everything in your life, everything. No matter what happens to you, no matter whether it looks like somebody did something to you or you were in an accident, they hit you, it doesn't make any difference what it is, or any good things too. It doesn't make, it's take responsibility for everything that happens in your life. The second is to breathe. And what I mean by that is to make sure that you're always taking in nice deep breaths. So if you can, and we'll play with that for a second. So if you can think about something that bothers you about money, or a couple things that bother you about money, whether you don't have enough, whether you have some bills, whatever it is that makes you, it gives you uncomfortable feeling energetically inside. You worry about it, whatever. Just think about that for a second. Have that come up. Okay, now what I'd like you to do is close your eyes and check in and see how you feel emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually. Emotionally, are you happy or sad? Physically, are you relaxed? Are you tense? Aches and pains, and so on. Okay? Now, let's take 5 deep breaths together. And you take more or less when you're doing this on your own. I picked 5 only because I like the number 5, and it seems to work. So let's start off by taking, and you can, if you have a certain way you breathe, you studied yoga or something else where you breathe a certain way, do that. You can just breathe through your mouth. It makes no difference. So let's take the first breath, breathing in, and then slowly exhaling. We'll take our second breath, breathing in, this time even deeper. And then slowly exhaling. And we'll take our third breath, breathing in deeper still. And slowly exhaling. And then taking in our fourth breath, even deeper. And then slowly exhaling. And let's take our fifth breath and breathing in really deep this time. Okay, now what I'd like you to do is the same thing. Close your eyes and check in and see how you're feeling emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually. And did anyone notice any difference? Or is there any difference between before and after?
Yes.
Would you want to share with us what the difference was for you?
Yeah, sure. My financial situation right now is awful. I got divorced. I relocated to Florida. I had freelance work clients for 8 years, and after I got here, a lot of my clients went away.
Mm-hmm.
And trying to reestablish myself here has been very not easy, and I'm in a financial mess. So
sure.
when every dime that it's cost me to get away from the ex-husband was worth it, and
Sure. Oh, but how did you feel? What feelings did you have?
How I felt when you first said it is I felt devastated. I felt like I can't breathe. I felt sad, and I felt awful.
Okay.
And after the 5 breaths, I heard "Everything's Gonna Be All Right" by Bob Marley.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Cool. Okay. And does anybody else want to share, or you don't have to? I just want to give every.
Sure.
Okay.
This is Laura. I'll share. I felt I was thinking about planning for retirement when we began, and a little bit sort of uncertain and kind of anxious, and then after the breaths, I felt at peace and kind of confident, like at a very somatic level, like kind of my heart center felt safe, so
right.
it was a very different feeling.
Excellent. Terrific. Okay, so anybody else, or we're all good? Or does somebody else want to share?
Sure, I'll share.
Okay, great.
So I was thinking about this art show I'm going to have my paintings in March, and I'm hoping that I'll sell a bunch of paintings that'll help us out a lot. And after the breath, I felt confident about it.
Okay, great.
Like putting the energy out there is sort of seeding a field, and it's going to grow.
Excellent. So what happened on an energetic level was that your energy was, everybody, not just anyone, your energy is constricted. And so when your energy is constricted, it's really hard to, besides breathe, it's really hard to shift your energy at all. And by breathing, all you've done is you've expanded your energy field. Most people lock up the energy in their throat area, and so they don't. And when they get nervous or afraid or any type of what you might call negative fears, they shut down on the throat and they barely breathe, although they don't realize it because they're still living. But what I found is if I ever get in a place where I have that, I do the 5 breaths, and everything kind of shifts for me. And I don't have to do anything. It just is automatic, because we're basically all self-healing mechanisms, self-healing human beings, energy beings, really. And so if you just open your energy field up, everything kind of flows the way it normally is supposed to happen. And most people get in their own way versus just allowing the universe will basically take care of them because that's how it's set up. Everything I'm talking about and will continue to talk about over the rest of the time we have is things that I've already experienced and I've done for many, many years and have shown other people how life really works in this area of their life. And so that's why I love doing this. We're going to touch on the next 3 steps of the 5 steps. The third step is observing that nothing is good or bad, it just is. Okay? Things aren't just the way they are. It's not a good thing, it's not a bad thing. It's like electricity is not a good thing or a bad thing. You plug a light bulb in to your wall socket and it lights up, or somebody grabs a live wire and dies. You could say good or bad, but it's not. The energy, the electricity, is just the way it is. Nothing different. Also, I forgot to mention something at the beginning of this, and I apologize, is don't believe anything I say at all. Consider me crazy. And all I would ask you to do is try these things to see if they work for you. I personally know they work, and they've worked for like years and years and years and years and years. And what I'm hoping to do in this really short time is to be able to show you how you can do this for yourself and kind of shift your life quite amazingly. And it's all natural things. It's all simple stuff. Fourth basic step is to be gentle with yourself when you're doing this, to pace yourself. When people start doing these things, what can happen is they can beat themselves up saying, I didn't do it right, or I didn't, or I should have been better, or whatever. And no, you need to be gentle with yourself, because part of this, what you're really doing is you're really healing yourself energetically, because there's no reason why anybody shouldn't have everything they want, or at least think they want. And people, I find, the only reason they don't have what they want is because they're basically preventing it from happening. They're pushing it away. The 5th basic step is to have fun and really enjoy whatever it is that you're doing at the time. Yes, even if you might call it bad or negative. So, and the reason I say that, to have fun and really enjoy whatever it is that you're doing, even if it's bad or negative, is because by doing that, you're opening up your energy field and you're letting that energy move through and go through you instead of holding on to it. Because most people, including me, I only learned all these things because I did everything wrong. And I just kept figuring out how to do it and kept trying methods and other, I try something else, I try something else. And eventually I did everything really wrong until I found what works. Okay. Whoa. Okay, so let's go to, you can pull out the third sheet, number 3. All right. And what we're going to talk about now, and I'm going to pull out the third sheet. You write at the top, point A to point B theory.
D is in dog?
B is in boy. Point A is in apple to point B is in boy.
Okay.
That's A to B. And then C and D and F and all. It's a point A to point B theory.
Sorry, the last word is theory?
Theory. Theory.
Okay, thanks.
I have no idea why I named it like this, but this all came to me many, many years ago. Oh, by the way, I'm not smart enough to figure this out. This sort of just came to me after, like I said, doing many different things, but I didn't go to any classes. I didn't read about anything. It just sort of came through me for whatever reason. Don't know. Okay. Now, I came up with this because I found out this is how you create. What I found out, how you create things in your life. And so if you go to the bottom left-hand corner of your page and write the letter A as an apple, okay, the bottom left-hand corner. And if you go to the top right-hand corner and write the letter B. Okay. Now, and how to do this is you'll write down, point A is where you are. So what you want to write down, not now in this time we have left, but you want to write this down. You want to write down where you are. You want to write down basically a lot of things you ladies were telling me. I'm living here. I'm doing this. I have this. I don't have this. I don't have this. I have a car. I have $3 in a bank account. I have, whatever it is, wherever you are now. I'm living in a house. I'm living in an apartment. I'm living, whatever you are now. That's your point A. So you take the time and write all of that down, on your own later on. Okay, and then you get another sheet of paper and write down point B. That's where you want to be. Okay, point B is where you want to go to. So you want to have $1 million. You want to live in this house. You want to live over here. You want this kind of relationship. Whatever it is, you write down all those things. And the key to both of writing these down in both point A and point B, A is in apple, B is in boy, writing those down is to be as specific as possible. So you write down, I have $3.27 in my checking account, and I have this and I have this. Or point B, I want this kind of car, and it's like, when I did this one time, I did this to get a Corvette, and I picked the color I wanted a black car, black convertibles, 5-speed, blah, blah, blah. I listed everything in that for that car that I wanted. Okay. All right. So you do those two things. All right. And now the next step, which is kind of hard, but the next step is then you forget it. You drop it out of your mind. You just drop it. You don't think about it anymore. You wrote down the A. You wrote down where you want to go is B. Okay. So now the next step is I call it awareness. But it's also named women's intuition, gut instinct. It's a little quiet voice in your mind, okay? I call it awareness. So for the next few minutes, I'm just going to use that term. A person has, or I'll have like two voices in my head. I'll have the quiet voice that always, if I follow that quiet voice, I'm always in the right place at the right time, and everything always works out perfectly when I follow it. When I don't follow it, it doesn't work out well. But that's why we're self-healing mechanisms, because that's why this works so beautifully, is that if you follow that low quiet voice, you'll see that it works, and you'll get to wherever it is it's talking about to you. If you don't follow it, it's okay too, because you'll see that it didn't work, but it didn't work because you didn't follow it, and you'll see where you ended up instead. So it can self-correct as long as you go, oh yeah, I should have done it that way. That was already knew internally with my awareness, I already knew that that's what I should have been doing, and I ignored it. And so I ended up over here instead. And then you've got what I call the loud voice, or fear. It's loud, always, criticizing and judging other people and judging myself, and always super loud, and is basically always screaming over the quiet voice, your awareness. And so I found that once that quiets down a little bit, then I can hear the awareness, because the awareness is always there. I call it awareness. The awareness is always there, and it's always right. I've never been wrong. I've always been in the right place at the right time. Always, always, always. Okay, so now that we have that established, and we've already listed point A and point B, now we're going to follow that awareness. Women's intuition, gut instinct, whatever you want it, whatever you feel like calling it. We're going to follow that. So as the day goes on and the next day goes on, let's say I'm in my office. When I was in L.A., I had one office in Santa Monica for a time. And so I'm walking in the office, and I get the awareness to go pick up a L.A. Times before I go in the office. Now, my logical mind, or this loud fear mind, would say, no, don't do it now. Do it later. You got to walk across the street, whatever. But the awareness is telling me to go there. If I follow the awareness, I have no idea why I'm doing it, okay? But if I follow it, maybe I see something in the paper. Maybe I meet somebody by crossing the street. Anything can happen as long as I'm following my awareness. So we're down at point A again, and so we're kind of like in a boat, just cruising along in a boat, in a canoe. And I'm following my awareness, and I'm just moving a little bit. I don't see the point B yet, but I'm moving a little bit towards the point B. All right. Now, what I found, there's basically 2 blocks a person puts in their life. There's many more, but we're going to just concentrate on the main 2. There's 2 blocks. There's a block that you put in your life, I put in my life, when I need to go around something, okay, that it's not good for me to go in the direction I'm going in at that moment. So as I'm moving forward, I'm drawing a line toward that point B, and then I draw a little square, and I hit a block. Now, if I know the type of block it is, which you only get from experience, if I know the type of block it is, then I will go around it because it's helping me avoid something that I shouldn't be going into, whatever that would be happening at the time. The only reason I know all of this is because I busted through these blocks sometimes and I go, I'm going to do this anyway. And then I found that, this wasn't a great idea. I got a traffic jam. Many things happened because I go, I should have listened to the awareness and just went around it and made a left turn instead of a right. It's that simple of awareness. It's like, this is not complicated things at all. It's very simple. So I just draw a little circle around, a half circle around that block, and then continue going toward the B. Then there's another type of block. There's a second major type of block. And that type of block, you put in and you're doing all this yourself, by the way. This is all, you do this yourself, even though I do this myself. We're not aware of it, but that's what we do. There's another type of block, and that block, you actually put in your way so you can go through it. And by going through it, it makes you stronger. It develops more characteristics in your energetic field that makes you a stronger person, a stronger individual. Okay? And so you do push through that. And so that is good. There's like, if you want to call it, there's nothing good or bad, but there's some type of blocks that you put around yourself to go around, and there's some type of blocks that you go through. Okay, now you keep following your awareness. You keep following your gut instinct, your woman's intuition, and you're heading toward B, okay? And you're getting really close to B now, which is what you want. And you can almost see it. You can feel it, taste it, smell it. You're really getting excited about it, okay? Now, here's the danger point, because here's where some people decide they see it, so they want to jump right into it. Now, it's taken them a while to get from point A to where they are real close to point B. And they've only got there by following their awareness. Now, for some reason, most people, including myself, go, I can see it. I'm just going to go right there. Instead of just following your awareness until you get right to it. Almost everybody does this initially. And so they jump out, and what happens is they fall out of the canoe, the boat, whatever you want to call it. They fall out of the energy, and then they're like drifting around because they didn't allow the awareness, that little inner quiet voice, to take them to where they're going, because they have no idea how they would be getting to that last couple of inches to point B. Okay? Now, take your pen or color, a crayon, and we have a line that's drawn up to about maybe 2 inches before we get to the end of, or inch and a half before we get to the point B. Now, from point B, go to your left on the page, and about halfway, 3/4 of the way to the other end of to the left side of the page, write a letter C. Okay? Now, what happens is if you follow your awareness, okay, if you follow your awareness, sometimes you get really close to point B, and like you can see it. But if you stay in the canoe, you stay in your energy field, you stay with your awareness, all of a sudden you start drifting to the left. And you have like no idea why you're going, whoa, I want this. It's like I wrote everything down, but I'm not getting there. And then you following your awareness, following that quiet voice, forgetting about the loud voice, following your quiet voice. You go to the left further and further and further, and keeps taking you further away. So you're going, oh, I don't know what's going on here. This guy doesn't know what he's talking about. I'm going further away from what I wanted. All right, and then you go all the way to point C. Point C. Now, sometimes this happens, not all the time. Sometimes this happens. Point C. Point C is incredibly better than point B. Incredibly better than point B. You couldn't even thought of what point C was, or couldn't have imagined it would be happening, or it's like you get it and you go, oh my God, this is so much better than point B. And so the keys here are writing down, picking your two places you want. You're picking the place you are, point A, apple. Picking what you want, point B. Both of them being specific as possible, and writing it down. Writing it down is really important. Just thinking about it in your mind is a waste of time, because for many reasons, which we don't have time for now. But you pick point A, write down all the things you have. Pick point B, write down all the things you want. Follow your awareness, going through blocks or going around them, and you'll just learn what that means, as far as you'll learn, how you can determine which blocks are which. And sometimes you'll go close to point B, and you'll curve around and you'll hit point C. Okay, so what I'd like you to do now is take page number 4. Okay, and take your pen, pencil, right at the top, play sheet. And write the date, which is 1/17/17. And right below that, the time, which is 9:24 p.m. And then below that, right below that, so you're way at the top of the page, you'll write your feelings and emotions about money. Colon. It's basically the same thing we did on page 1. It's page 4. And then below that, you're going to write money is, and then spend a minute or less, and write a sentence or two about money is. Write your emotions about money. And money is, write a sentence or two. Okay? Now, below that, write money represents to me, colon, money represents to me, colon, and then write a sentence what it represents to you now. Okay, and then below that, write money makes me feel, and then write a sentence about that. Okay, now we'll go to the last page, which is number 5. I'm sorry for going so fast, but we have a kind of like a time constraint, so I apologize for that. Go to page number 5. And just write the date, which is 1/17/17, and the time is 9:28. And below that, since just draw your feelings about money. You can write that later on. It's like page number 2, but now just draw your feelings about money. And let me know when you're done with that.
Okay, I'm done.
I'm ready.
Okay. All right. Now, we're kind of out of time. So what you can do, or if you want to look at it, what you can do is you can compare. You can compare what you wrote about your feelings about money at the beginning of this, and then you can look at them and compare them to what you wrote just now at the end, and see if there's any differences between the two. And you can do the same thing with your drawings, with what you drew at the beginning and at the end, and you can see if there's any differences in that also, either in what you drew or the colors you used. And do you notice any difference between? Let's look at the drawings. Do you notice any difference between the two drawings? If you want to share, if you don't want to, you don't have to. I mean, I don't.
Yeah, this is Laura. I see in the second drawing is much more unified and kind of symmetrical. It's like there's a centering quality to it. And I see some design elements that were present from the first one, but it's much more organized and kind of evolved in a way.
Cool. Does anybody else want to share?
Yeah, it's Stacy. I would say that I have a similar. I kind of drew a little stick figure of myself, kind of like meditating in the first one, and money's like little coins are floating all around. And then in the second drawing, I made it into like a comfort blanket in the middle of a sun.
Oh, okay. Nice. So these, and then what you wrote, why I did this, why I had to do these, is to show you in just a short period of time, because this is really a short period of time, you can see that things actually shifted for you, whether your mind might be telling that it shifted or not. But by having you write and draw at the beginning and at the end, regardless of what your mind is telling you, the loud mind, you can actually see that things might have shifted in a, say, better direction. So if you follow this, and again, and if you do this, and you do this consistently all the time, with the point A to point B, point A apple to point B boy, you'll get better and better at it. You'll learn the different blocks by going through them or not going through them and learning. It's all a self-healing mechanism because you're always going to learn something from it. If you and you can do it. You can start out on simple things, really simple things, very simple. You don't have to go for I want a brand new $10 million house or something like that. You can go for simple things, and the more you do it, the more you practice it, the better you become, and the faster things speed up to where you start doing this so that you'll think about something and it'll start to come to you in a very short period of time. All right, so it's a matter of practicing it and doing it over and over, and you'll see as it works more and more for you. Again, don't believe me at all, but just try it for yourself. And when you see that it works more and more for you, then you would do it. You might do it more and more, and by doing it more and more, you'll build up your speed. You'll get better and better, and so go slow. Go slow. Pick small things. Keep doing it, and you'll eventually get to be. Eventually get to be where to have whatever you want. Or in some instances, you go by the point B and you'll get to the point C, which is even better. Which surprised me, because that's even how I know about that, because I've done all this many times. So, Laura, is it? If you guys want my email address, I can give it to you. If you want to email me questions, if you have things, can I do that, Laura? Or I don't know.
Sure, if you're comfortable with it being on the recording.
Yeah, no, I mean, because I'd like to help as many people as I could with this, because once you get it, and again, there's all kinds of things I could share with you, but this condensed down to I think that might help the most people in the shortest period of time.
That'd be great.
So, great. So my email address is the word gold, GOLD, the letter N as in Nancy, the word heal, HEAL, the letter R as in Robert, at AOL.com. So that's Golden Healer without the two E's, golden, but there's no E, GOLD, letter N as in Nancy, heal, HEAL, no E, the letter R as in Robert, at AOL.com. And feel free to email me questions especially if you try this or you're trying it and it's not working or something, because I guarantee. Well, I'll guarantee it that I know it works. I mean, it always works. You follow it. It takes a little while. I mean, I've been doing this for many years. And it always works. You'll get to the point where it'll be happening faster and faster for you. I also guarantee that too. And it might go slow at the beginning, and there's a learning curve where you have to learn the different blocks to go through or to go around. But the key is to follow your awareness, follow your intuition, your women's intuition, your gut instinct. Follow that. You follow that, you'll never be wrong. You'll never be in the wrong place at the wrong time. It'll always move smoothly, and life will become the adventure it's always meant to be. It's just like so cool because it just happens all the time. It's still, I still do this all the time, and it always surprises me. I always, going, wow, that really worked out well. Anyway, I know we've got to be closing up, so would anybody want to comment on what stays in their heart and mind as they leave? Checking out with you guys. If you want to say something.
Well, I really didn't know what tonight's topic was, and I was doing meditations about money and letting go and listening to my inner awareness right before we called. So I feel that I'm definitely at the right place at the right time today. Thank you.
Oh, fantastic. I
had no idea.
Fantastic. Anybody else? And you don't have to. I'm just following the last few minutes of protocol here. So.
Yeah, this is Laura. So I really enjoyed your presentation and the whole energy that you bring to it. And like you just said, it makes it really fun, and that kind of sense of life as an adventure, is very empowering way to move through life. So I'll look forward to trying this out.
Oh, yeah, great. Yeah, because it is. And once you start doing this, it becomes fun. Even when, following those five things, those five basic, those five basic steps in healing your relationship with money. You're following those and playing with this point A to point B, you'll have a great time. And all of a sudden things will be great. I mean, you'll still go through some sadness at times and, but I mean, it'll be fine. Oh, I'm glad. I'm very glad. Okay. Anybody else, or did I hear a ding? So somebody might have had to leave. So, okay. So, going back to protocol, thank you for joining us for this Spirit Gathering teleconference. The call may be archived as an MP3 at www.tzaddi.org. Phone access to the recording of this call is available until next month's call. For playback of the recording, dial 712-432-1085. Access code 990-322, #, or hashtag, depending on your age group. We hope you'll join us for our next Spirit Gathering on Tuesday, February 21st. These calls are hosted by Tzaddi, an interspiritual metaphysical organization founded in California in 1964. Tzaddi welcomes, nurtures, and supports people in celebrating and more directly experiencing their relationship with the loving presence of the divine. Our programs are open to people of any race, color, or national or ethnic origin. Visit www.tzaddi.org churchoftzaddi.org to learn more. We will close now with thanks and the blessing. Thanks to the Tzaddi founders, Amy Keys and Dorothy Blackmere. Thanks to all of you who have been part of our community tonight. And thanks to the Divine who support us always, even when we're not aware of it. And I wish all of you perfect health, as this is way more important than any amount of wealth that you may acquire in your lifetimes. I wish everyone a good night.